Hey everybody, it's Dina Rica with the Creativity Cave, and I'm so excited to share with you some projects from my new craft space. Now, my work surface is the same as it's always been, but I have a new office and I'm very excited about it. If you'd like to see kind of a preview of it, check out my Facebook Live from this past week, the last week of August 2018, and you'll see it. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm not quite done, but as soon as I'm done, I'll give you a full, complete tour. So anyway, I'm really excited about the cards that I have to share with you today because they are so cute and really easy. And they kind of come from, well, at least this one comes from a unique place. So I love the new Tropical Chic stamp set. Let me pull it out for you here. It is such a cool stamp set. And it is, it is missing. Oh, I have it sitting right next to me, so I'll be able to show it to you. So the stamp set is really cool, and it comes with a fantastic bundle that has a whole set of framelits. I've got almost all of them right here for you, but they're really cool because you can do the solid piece or you can create the detail piece. So it's kind of like an outline. So that's kind of fun. And this cool little frame is really neat too. All right. So let me show you how, well, actually, let me tell you how this card came about. I love this flower, but I wanted a bigger version because some of the leaves in here are really big. So I wanted a bigger version. So to come up with that, I went to a completely normal source, my lemon punch. So I love the lemon. Here, I'm trying to get it so you can see it. Yep, that's my reflection. So I wanted to get this large petal, and the only punch that we had that would be even close was this lemon. So that's actually where this came about. So what you're going to do is start by cutting yourself 5 lemons. Okay, so just punch those out, and I'm using Poppy Parade. And I think this makes such a great, and oops, there's a little nick out of that one, so let me do one more. Think this makes such a great hibiscus looking flower. Okay, and I apologize for my voice. I may have gotten a little excited cheering for my son at his first cross-country race. And my voice is not like practiced for cheering. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is kind of curl the petal, and you can see that there's kind of a smaller end and a larger end. The larger end is what's going to go out, and then the smaller end we're going to glue down. So does that make sense? We've got a little dimension going there. So I'll do that with the rest of them. I pre-punched these so you didn't have to watch me punch them all. And then what we're going to do is just kind of arrange them on our card and adhere them with some glue. So it's pretty easy to put them together. Now for my card, I've just got a half a sheet of crumb cake cardstock, and I'm using one of the leaves that comes in the stamp set. Let me grab a piece of paper so I can protect my work surface. And I'm just going to stamp that leaf in some crumb cake ink along the side to kind of create a nice little background. Or background's not the right word, but like border. So I'm doing a little overlapping, as you can see on here. And I've got just kind of a fun little border to my card. All right, next I'm going to take and stamp my thank you. This will be just in black Memento ink. And actually, you know what? I'm going to stamp that after because I'll show you why. I like how it's kind of tucked into my flower, but I want to put my flower down first to make sure I have room. So now let me show you how I glue it. It's really easy. So, and by the way, don't forget when I'm done with this card, we've got another one. Okay, so what I did is I took and said, I want this to be the center. So I put some liquid glue down, kind of like so. I didn't get too crazy, but a little bit down. And then I'm basically going to start adhering these pieces. Now, some of you might feel more comfortable if you kind of set them down before you make your final commitment of where they're going to go. And that's fine. I find on the last one, I almost always need to have a little adhesive to kind of make sure it works. Now, I know my favorite part about using liquid glue is that you have a little wiggle room. There's some time here before everything is finalized that you can kind of alter the positioning of your petals and they'll still stay, which I like about that. It gives you a little more flexibility, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so there we go. Next, I'm going to take and create the center. And if you look on my card, I've got this beautiful center, and it's kind of dimensional. It sticks up a little bit, and that is a little bit by design. So this is one of those cards that will definitely require extra postage, but we'll send it to somebody who deserves it. And if not, just keep it for yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Of course you can keep it for yourself, but it's also great for a hand delivery. Okay, so I took my little piercing tool and I am starting the process of winding up the center. Oh, actually oh gosh, can you tell I haven't shot a video in a little while? So on this piece, I have a 1/2 inch piece, so it's a 1/2 inch wide, and I've taken my scissors and just cut little slits going all the way down. Now, if you have our old fringe scissors, we discontinued those a few years ago, but if you have those, you can use that. I would actually do them twice, once in between, so you get a little thinner slit, because you can see mine are thinner than what that would actually give you. Okay, and so if you need something to hold on to, I definitely think wrapping it around this is a great idea. Kind of gets things going, but you want to wind it fairly taut so it's not all loosey-goosey. And you also want to be careful because I may or may not have ripped off a hunk of this. Now, if you do that, you literally can just kind of glue it on and add it. It's okay. Again, we never judge at the Creativity Cave, so it's all right. All right. I also find you can wind it tighter when you're not on a video. It's just my personal experience. Okay, now at this point where I have a few inches left, I'm going to stop. I'm going to get my glue out, and I'm going to just put a little line of glue to kind of hold this together. I've done it before where I've glued the whole thing, and what happens is as you're trying to wind tight, that glue sort of seeps out and then it gets everywhere and then you're all sticky and then you're mad. And so we don't want that. So I might put a little more down just to really get that last end adhered nicely to itself. Okay, so now we've got this. We're just going to hold it for a sec to make sure it is dry, and then we're going to kind of poof it out. And when you do that, you really get a cool center to your flower. And I love this. I think this is just so fun. All right. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now to get this to adhere to the center, I'm going to just put a kind of a thicker amount of glue on here. And then I will just sort of press it in to the center like so. And then you can really kind of flatten out that center bit. Okay, so there's that. Then we'll add our thank you. And then we're also going to jazz this up a little. Now over here, the thank you fits a little better on that side. So it just kind of depends on where you place everything. All right, now the last, well, a couple little touches we're going to do to kind of jazz this up. There's a couple leaves on our punch, and so I know originally I actually had arranged for this to work with the dies of this stamp set, but then this sort of worked out and I liked it, so that's what I did. But you could use the leaves, of course, from the die set as well for your leaves in here. So there's a couple green leaves. Now on the inside of my card, I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping as well. So I've layered a 4 by 5¼ inch piece of Whisper White, and I'm just going to take and stamp. Now this time I'm going to use my stamp. Let me quick clean it. Got my chamois right here. I'm going to use, instead of crumb cake, I'm going to clean that off and use a little bit of Granny Apple Green, because that coordinates with the green on the outside. And I'll stamp kind of a leaf there and a leaf here. They're overlapping a little bit, and that's okay, because I'm also going to take that cute little hibiscus from our set, stamp it on a little scrap in Poppy Parade. And then I'll die cut that out like so. Oh, look, I have one here ready. And then I'm just going to pop this up and, right on top. So I put a little dimensional on there, and then we'll pop it up right there. So then that makes kind of a fun coordinated inside to your card. And then you can put this right in here. And how fun is this? You could add an additional sentiment if you wanted to the inside. In fact, the stamp set has kind of a coordinating saying. It says, with much love, thanks. With much love and thanks. So on the outside it says thank you. Oh my gosh, I put this in here crooked. Oh, and now it's going to be down. Oh well, nobody will know. So there you go. There's my first card. Now my second card is pretty awesome. I love it. I'll just say right now, I love it. It's so bright and happy, okay? And it's really easy. So let me show you how I did this one. We're going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock, a half sheet, and then another sheet that's about 4 by 5¼ I think I might have actually trimmed it just a hair, because I toyed with putting a layer of black behind this, and I just like the clean, crisp look of the white layer only, so that's what I ended up going with. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to use the Pop of Petals. And I have to say, this is kind of funny, because when this first came out, I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. And, you know, I was just like, well, whatever. I didn't really get into it. But oh my gosh, every time I use it, I love it more. So now this is a bundle that comes with a punch as well. And it creates, there's the punch, it's like a 4 little petal flower. And so we are going to go with some bright, happy colors. Now, as you probably know, we did the color revamp in June. And so we changed up our colors a little bit. And the brights are now really, truly bright. So I have this lovely assortment of bright, happy colors. And I'm going to punch this little flower out of each of these colors. And then I'm also going to punch a solid piece of cardstock of the coordinating color in with a 1/2 inch circle to put in the center of each of these. And sometimes I laugh because I forget about these printed papers we have. And I love that they brought back the prints in, you know, the color families. Last year we didn't have them after having them for a long time. And you get so accustomed to using them, and I love them. Okay, let me just grab my 1/2 inch circle punch, which has gotten away from me. I hate when I lose stuff on my desk, but it's a little punch, so that kind of happens. Oh, here it is. So I will punch this, like I said. Sorry, I didn't have this part done ahead of time. I should have done that. So you didn't have to watch me, but we're almost there. Now, on each of these, as you know, I do enjoy myself a bit of dimension when I stamp. So, whoops, I'm going to take each leaf and kind of crinkle the petals individually. So rather than being completely flat, you can see they have some dimension to them and they don't just sit on our card. So I'll do that. And then I'm also going to pop up each of these little circles to the inside. Now there's one more step before we put all of this together, and that is I wanted to add some leaves with this stamp set. And I love, there's several actually choices for leaves on here, but I chose the single leaf. And then we're going to use a little lemon lime twist ink for those leaves. Now to do this, what I actually am going to do is start by stamping my sentiment. This is from a wonderful set. In fact, I think it even has wonderful in the name. Stamp that at the bottom there. Just a friendly hello. We stamped that in black. This is from a stamp set called Another Wonderful Year, and it's actually a double set. I combined them into 2 pieces, but I love this. There's some really wonderful sentiments in here, and I love the fun fonts that are included. So I like that. And just a friendly hello is so awesome. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to set these out. So I kind of get a feel for where they're going to sit on my card, because we're going to have to smoosh them in a little bit. So I like laying things out beforehand, because then I can, like I said, I get an idea of how they fit so that I don't end up with lots of extra white space or I run out of room, either one. All right, so I've kind of got that idea. And then what I'm going to do is just add some leaves to kind of fill this in. So I'm just sort of doing it like this. Once you've put them down, it helps because you can tell exactly where everything will sort of fit. And then if you need to add some leaves at the bottom, you can. Okay, and I used glue dots to place these onto my card because I thought that was pretty easy. So there we go. Oh my gosh. So it is raining for about the 100th time in the last week here. It has been, I would say crazy humid would be the most accurate term. I feel like I'm living in the tropics, but no, it's just Iowa in the summer, late summer. I can't believe it's actually September now. That there's just something not quite right about that. I don't know about you guys. I've spent my summer moving, so I'm really not ready for summer to be over. Okay, so look at how fun that is. All right, now I'm going to add my little dots with some mini dimensionals because they'll fit under this little teeny half circle pretty well. So we'll put those down, and then we're going to embellish as well. Now I embellished these with some adhesive back sequins. And part of why I did that was to keep my card a little bit more flat, because I thought if I put a rhinestone in the center of each of these, that it might get kind of thick. But I don't know. I can't decide. Maybe we'll do rhinestones on this one, and then you can tell me which one you like better. I love when I get feedback from you guys because, of course, first of all, you never hesitate to let me know what you think, which I love. And sometimes what you say definitely is not what I expect, so that's always fun too. All right, so the adhesive back sequins are fun because there's lots of different colors of them, and you can get kind of different looks. Like here's some iridescent ones. These might be fun on here. I'm going to try the rhinestones, and then you can tell me which ones you like better. So I love keeping my tools in those clear cases. They're just clear stamp set cases. You can get them, they're in the catalog. Now I'm going to take my little pick a tool to place these on here. And it works so nice. It just kind of scrapes things off of those sheets, and then it sticks to the this little tool so that you can get them right down where you want. I wasn't sure, I sometimes when there's tools like this, I get lazy and just use my fingernails, but I've actually found this to be quite helpful. All right, so there they go. Oh, I do kind of like those rhinestones, darn it all. But this is a little thinner option for you. Because I got to pop this layer up. Oh, goodness. All right, so we'll take, and we're going to pop this layer up just onto our white card, and then that's it. That's all there is to this card. It really is simple. So I just have one assortment of printed paper. Ooh, now it's really coming down. Can you guys hear that in the background? I don't know. So I have a window in my office now, which is kind of exciting because I haven't had one for years. And I really have to say I'm loving it. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, all of the supplies that I used for this card are available in my online store. If you just click the links below, they will bring you to my blog so you can see pictures of both of the cards that I made today, as well as all the supplies I used and the dimensions and colors and everything specifically. And of course, if you need anything to purchase, I would so appreciate your business. I am working on hitting my $1 million in career sales with Stampin' Up, and I'm getting pretty close. So I would love your business and so much appreciate it. Thank you so much for stamping with me, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.